Welcome back, Collective. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Aquarius. Or, I'm sorry, you may be dealing with an Aquarius. For the sign of Pisces. Please remember, this can be your energy, their energy, or somebody in your energy. Please only take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Sometimes you do have to flip the roles, and there is no gender in tarot. So, Pisces, let's see what's going on. For Pisces, we've got clock on the bottom of the deck. We got I like you, wedding rings, and girl with a snake. Need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. Empath and narcissist paradigm. Being charmed or used, enable boundaries. Someone likes you, romance is blooming. And union, wedding, married. So you could be healing after being in a empath narcissist paradigm. Okay, this relationship is over, but you definitely need time to heal. Okay, I do not. Yeah, you could have been the chaser in this dynamic. And we've got date here with I like you and wedding rings. I think, we've got with keys on a ring, many options, decisions, string along, one night stand. I am getting the feeling that, yeah, with Cupid's arrow, it says, have faith, love is coming, surprise, invitation, kisses, an engagement ring over here. Okay, but you know what I'm getting? I think I'm getting... Okay, so you could have been in an empath narcissist paradigm, okay? And that relationship is over, okay? So you could have been the chaser in this relationship, okay? So that just means that you were the empath, okay? And you were chasing the narcissist. With date, I like you, wedding rings, keys on a ring... I am getting for you Pisces that were in this paradigm, you may not be ready to date yet. Okay? Because healing does take time. Okay? So you may not have done all of the healing work that is needed, okay? Because with keys on a ring, you got many options, decisions, string along, one night stand. You may not have done enough healing to not get trapped in this paradigm again. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I think that the universe is saying, have faith, love is coming. But with date and, string along and all of that, I just don't think that you've done enough healing. I think that's what the universe is trying to say, okay? I think that you may get caught up back in one of these paradigms if you're not fully healed, okay? And I know that you don't want to end up being the chaser again, all right? So, yeah, see, with sunglasses, we've got watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting. This person from your past could be waiting for a great time to come back in and gaslight you some more. But with healthy choices, the universe is telling you that you need to make sure that You're making healthy choices in love and life, which means self love, self care. All right. Making sure that you have the stability and the security in order to get back out there. Okay. Healing heart from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. Yeah. So I'm getting the feeling that you need to do a little bit more healing work before you go back out there. Um, let's see. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're just not done baking. And there's no timeline. Nobody can tell us a fucking timeline. Like, hey, you should get back. Like, if your friend, like, when you're ready, I think you'll know that you're ready. But I think the universe is trying to tell some of you, you may not be ready yet. Okay. You may still fall into these types of traps. Um, and you're getting over a narcissist, which, for some people could take years. All right. Narcissistic abuse is some real shit. It's real traumatic. Some people get PTSD from it. I mean, the shit is real. Can you tell me about Pisces? Tell me about Pisces. So, not talking and not compatible, okay? So again, you are not talking to this person from your past, and I think you're realizing that you really weren't very compatible, okay? Um, Obviously, nobody's compatible with a narcissist. Fear of loss. You're afraid of losing someone or being abandoned. Getting hurt. Unlovable. Expectations in the reverse. Soulmate only in the reverse. Yeah, Pisces, I know some of you may not want to hear this, but I feel unloved. You got unlovable and unloved. I think there's a lot of you that really still need to do some of the healing work, okay? Fear of loss. Look, it's one thing to fear losing somebody that you really care about, but this goes deeper than that, okay? And with unlovable and feel unloved, you need to love yourself. You need to be 100% in love with yourself, okay? And there is nobody who, should be walking around feeling that they're unlovable and feel unloved, especially if they're in a relationship, okay? Now, this person, you could have felt like this person was your soulmate, but I don't think they were. And you also, could have felt that you didn't live up to their expectations. Well, you didn't, because they're a narcissist. And you can't live up to their fucking expectations because they're a narcissist. All right. I think that you got hurt many, many times by this person. Okay. And the universe is telling you that you need to make healthy choices. And that first healthy choice is loving yourself. Okay. Not rushing back into relationships. I'm kind of getting, for a lot of you, the fear of loss and being alone. Um, for some of you, you may be one of those habitual daters where you haven't really spent a whole lot of time by yourself. Therefore, you don't really know yourself. Okay. Like, if you can't sit with yourself, that's a problem. Okay. You need to be able to sit with yourself. Narcissists can smell insecurity. They know which people, unfortunately, a lot of empaths fall into narcissistic traps. Okay. And they could have a very healthy um, self esteem, but empaths, for the most part, have always been people pleasers. Okay. And until you learn to put yourself first, you will always fall into these traps, okay? Once you're fully healed, you'll be able to smell a fucking narcissist coming, okay? You'll be able to smell them coming. So I think the universe is saying not today. Not today. Okay? With girl talk, time with friends, happy single, living in the moment and having fun. I think what the universe is trying to say is you need to spend time with yourself, get to know yourself, get to love yourself, put yourself first. Because again, once you do that, you won't have this. There's billions of people on this planet, okay? If some fucking toxic person wants to leave or do shady shit, you will have no problem walking the fuck away. You won't get breadcrumbed. You won't get gaslit. You'll be like, look, I'm not about to put up with this bullshit, okay? Yeah, ambivalence. You won't put up with ambivalent. Well, you say you want a relationship, but then you act like you don't. Okay? That's gaslighting. They comparing you to others, trying to change you, wanting you to settle. And again, too soon. It's too soon. The universe doesn't want you to get stabbed in the back, okay? They don't want you to go through heartbreak. They don't want you to go through pain and separation and be deceived again, okay? They don't want that. They don't want you to sabotage a good relationship, a good person. But until you're fully healed, you will hurt people, okay? You will end up back in the runner-chaser dynamic where you're chasing, they're running. What the universe wants from you is for you to be the phoenix rising and to self-indulge. All right? Focus on your self-worth, time to heal, do your shadow work, self-appreciation. Have passion for yourself so that you can find the clarity that you need in order to make these really important decisions, and so that you won't be trapped by another narcissist. Okay? Yeah. Become the butterfly, transform. All right? This separation, I think, was your awakening for you to transform into a butterfly. So take the time that you need in order to figure out who you really are. And in divine timing, you're going to get that real love. Something that you won't sabotage because you're hurt. Okay? Or you won't choose the wrong person because you're still healing. I think the universe is trying to tell some of you Pisces that, getting back out there too soon, you will get hurt, okay? And until you feel that you're lovable, and until you get rid of this feeling that you're unloved, you're not fully healed. So the universe is definitely, for some of you guys, trying to let you know you're just not ready. All right? You're just not ready yet. So let me get you guys one of these. What do we have for Pisces? Okay. I don't know which one fell out for. Let's do that again. What do we have for Pisces? What does Pisces need to know? All right. Manifest your magic. So, manifest your magic. You're a living miracle of walking, talking, practical magic. Use that gorgeous brain of yours to stop imagining the apocalypse and start imagining the revolution, your revolution. What would you like to create? What is waiting for you in the invisible realm that would like to be made visible? You are a creatrix made in God's image. Make her proud of you. Use your magic and manifest the crap out of this moment. Yeah. You know, one of the things that could be very helpful and kind of healthy is, sit down and think about all the garbage that you've ever put up with. All the garbage, okay? And then sit down and write all the garbage you're not willing to put up with anymore. And then write a list, your manifestation of the perfect partner that you want. Okay? The what you want out of a relationship, what you want out of a partner, and spend that time healing and manifesting, a partner that's going to give you actual give and take, who's going to fill your cup. Okay? Spend the time getting to know yourself and manifesting, abundance, a good life, new opportunities, doing the healing work, not just from this relationship, but from any other pain that you've ever had that you've had to endure. This is really the opportunity for you to get to know yourself, for you to love yourself, and so that going forward you can make healthy choices in love and in life. Okay, and in divine timing you're going to get all of this, but I think the universe right now is telling you, you're just not done baking. So again, I know not everybody wants to hear that. And again, if this is not your story, it's just not your story. But, for the rest of you that this resonated for, nobody is unloved, because if you love yourself, then nobody is unloved. So this is what I have for you, Pisces. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.